write out each sum. So what we're going to do is we're going to write these sums out here. So the first thing to notice is this here. That is my sequence. And I'm starting at k equals 1, so I'm really starting at the A1 term, so to speak. And where I'm going to end at is I'm going to end at n. So what that means is I'm just going to sit here, I'm going to plug them in. So then for my first one, where k equals 1, I plug that in for this k here. So just the same. 1 plus 1 squared plus, and that's what the summation means here. That's sigma there, and that means summation. So that means I'm just going to take each of these terms in the sequence and then add them up. So 1 plus 1 squared, 2 plus 1 squared, because I'm going to plug in 2 next for k. And then I'm going to plug in 3 next for k. And I'm just going to keep going in this order just as I would a sequence. So I'm going to go all the way to n because the top number says, hey, stop at n. So this is going to be n plus 1 squared. So that is my sum. That's why I write out that sum. And it's okay to have an n in it. That's fine because that's where it's telling me to stop at. Now let's take a look at this next one here. So these are pretty straightforward to do. I'm just plugging them in. The reason for this problem is because it wants us to understand what we're actually doing here. Now, one thing I can do is I can simplify this a little bit. Before I go to the next one, I can say, hey, this is 2 squared plus 3 squared plus 4 squared plus ... plus n plus 1 squared. And then honestly, that's the best I can do. Okay, so for this next one then, this looks really a lot more involved here. But it's no different. It's the same thing. So for the first term, I'm going to write it in here so you can see me do it. So this is going to be negative 1 to the 0 power times 3 to the 0 plus 1. Because I know you're probably still getting used to it too. So I'm just going to deal with this one here. And I'm going to say, hey, this is anything to the 0 power is 1. And that's going to end up being 1 there. So 3 to the 1 is 3. So 1/3. But I'm just going to leave it like that for now. I'm going to put a plus there, and then just plug in where the k is 1 now. So where it's 1, it's going to be negative 1 to the 1 over 3 to the 1 plus 1. Because I think more importantly, I want you to see how this pattern works out. This is negative 1 squared over 3 to the 2 plus 1 plus ... Now it wants me to go to n minus 1. So that just means I'm going to plug in n minus 1 in for k. And that's where I'm going to stop at. So again, it looks horrible. Now keep in mind, this k here is this n minus 1 here. So don't look at that and say, whoa, that looks crazy. That's just what it is. So this is what they mean by write out the sums. And just remember that this k is where I start, this k is where I end. This sigma means I'm adding them, and this is my sequence in which I'm adding up. Now at most for this one, I can clean it up a little bit. Not sure how far they want us to go with this, but this could be 1/3 minus 9, or I'll just say 3 squared, plus 1 over 3 cubed, minus ... plus. Now, the interesting thing is this one doesn't really change on the end here. I can say that those cancel out there, but that does change my pattern a little because of their canceling. I may, to keep the pattern, I might keep that in there. But there it is.